Hello Mzansi, welcome to another episode of Farmers Inside Track. I'm your host, Duncan Masua. Now I've got with me one of those people that are the first to do anything, right? I'm joined by Lesedi Gaabue. Not only is she a poultry farmer, but she's also the first black woman to graduate in town planning at the Northwest University, I believe. What?
Crazy, right?
It's crazy. We'll get into your story in a moment, but maybe take me back to that moment where you realize that, oh wow, I'm the first black person to do this in Northwest University. What does that mean for you?
I was studying at the Northwest University, and in our faculty building, there are pictures of all the graduates in the hallway.
Yeah.
So one day when I was walking through the hallway, I'm looking at those pictures and I realized I'm not seeing any African black women here. So I go to my lecturer, I'm like, Dr. Jervis, what's going on here? Oh my goodness. I think you're actually the first.
I also realized at
that point. But then I was like, how am I the first? If we had democracy 25 years ago from that time, and I'm the first black woman to graduate in town and regional planning.
Yeah. It's a bit crazy.
It is. It was quite a crazy time for me. And I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm very happy and I'm very privileged that I was the first to do it in this institution in the Northwest. But my responsibility then becomes to keep the door open for more women like me who want to journey into the space that I'm in my profession.
And not only are you keeping the door open for women in town planning, but also in the poultry industry.
Yes.
Lesedi poultry farming. Tell us a bit about that. What does that look like?
So I'm a poultry farmer, poultry producer in Delareyville, Northwest. I started with this journey in 2020. I believe in women empowerment. So most of my employees at the farm are women, and I plan on empowering them. We're doing that right now. And I've got this plan that when they're with me, then they learn skills. I skill transfer so that maybe they can also go and start their own farms or whatever they would like to start. So not only am I giving them employment, I'm also empowering them to go on and start their own thing and employ more young women.
Absolutely love it. Take us through your business. Who are your markets? When did you start farming poultry exactly?
So I started in 2020. In 2020, I had not actually started physically. It was just a thought. In 2020, I was like, you know what? I would like to do this because when I was young, my grandfather used to make us feed chickens every morning. And I thought chickens only eat mealies. So he'd take a steel bowl and put the mealies in and go chick, 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 chick. And the chickens would all come when you go chick, 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 chick with all the mealies inside. And I used to enjoy that a lot. Yeah. And I grew up around animals. At school, I always bring little rabbits, little birds. And my family always asked me, what's up with all of this? So beyond me being a town planner, and then I was like, I like this poultry farming thing. Let me see what's it about. I went into it and I told my grandmother, I was like, I want to do this poultry farming thing, Then she was like, yeah, do it. I'm here to help you with anything that you need. And we started with 50. We did that 50. Little did I know that it's actually a lot of work.
I was about to say.
I'm just going to have chickens, give them mealies and be out. We're going to grow and then we're going to eat. No. There's a lot that goes into poultry farming, your biosecurity, the environment that they're in, and the nutrition. So it's not just the mealies. You have a starter, you have a grower, you have a finisher. And you can't just give them. You have to measure all the feed you give them so that you have your desired weight after 6 weeks for your market. So then we started with that. But the 50 died because I didn't know what I was doing. The environment was wrong. It rained a lot at the time and they were in a little shack. There was no heat for them because when they're still young, they cannot regulate their temperature. So I didn't know that at the time.
So now back in 2020, obviously you have a passion for animals and you decide, okay, let me try poultry farming.
Yeah.
And you go into this completely blindfolded, no background information.
The only background I know is that when you go chick, 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 the chicks come eat. That's all I knew.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously that was quite a
shock.
costly.
Yeah. It was costly. In farming, they call it school fees. So I paid. I paid school fees. My grand calls me. She's like, oh, darling, your chickens are all gone. I'm like, what do you mean they're all
so
gone?
So nonchalant, she's in.
I went there and I was like, what caused this? So then I went back to the drawing board. I went to school. I did a course in poultry farming. And that's when I learned that You actually need to vaccinate. The temperature of the house needs to be right. All these things. And what your market needs, you need to learn the market. Because chickens in the Northwest aren't the same price as in KZN. They differ. It also differs who is in the market, who are the role players in the market. So then that's when I learned that, okay, let's take this as a serious business, because also my farm being in the rural areas, I'm catering to people that aren't earning as much. And chicken is a cheaper source of protein for them. And I started taking it seriously. I'm like, I'm going to provide protein for my people. So let me put my foot in and be serious about it.
5 years later, school fees paid. You've obviously learned a lot of lessons along the way. What does your business look like currently? Scale, also markets as well.
So currently we're running at 300 birds per cycle. And my clients, mostly in the rural areas, in Delarevo, Tamelang, Madibogo, and the neighboring areas, we sell there. And we also have other ladies who are reselling for us. So we also supply them with the birds. And we just started slaughtering recently. So now we also offer slaughtered chickens.
That's quite impressive. You know, with these kinds of conversations, it's always important for me that someone who wants to get into the space that you are and to operate at the scale that you are, that they are able to listen to this conversation and hopefully take from it and implement. What would you say right in the beginning of setting up a poultry business? What are some of the important steps that one has to do in order to be successful?
You know what? Success looks different for all of us. But I think if you want to go into the poultry industry, make sure that you know what you do. Make sure what the industry entails. Go to school, get some sort of education on poultry farming, and take time and go into the chicken coop, sit there and listen to the birds, because the birds will tell you what's wrong. If there's a problem with your birds, you'll definitely hear, oh no, man, there's a little breathing problem that I hear. They're not breathing the way I know them to breathe. So then you'll know that, you know what, there's something wrong. So learn the markets, study the field, study the birds as well. If you go there and it's stinky, nobody wants to stay in a stinky place, not even chickens. So if there's something wrong, you will definitely know. Be there, be hands-on, know that you're doing this for a bigger purpose, for a greater purpose, which is meeting the demand for poultry in South Africa.
You mentioned that your market is the local market, right? Yes. You sell to who exactly?
The residents of the area. Consumers are the residents of the area, Delarevo and the neighboring towns. And we just started supplying shops now, like a local shop in the area. So that's why we started slaughtering, because most of the clients wanted slaughtered chickens.
What goes into supplying a store? Because I know your packaging looks absolutely amazing. I saw the packaging. Yeah. What goes into successfully supplying a store and meeting the demand?
What goes into that is you need to approach the store. They need to know that you are reliable. It's very important for you to be reliable. So at first, what I used to do is we just had 300 at once. But then within the 6 weeks, we didn't have chicken. And people were like, Lesedi, want a chicken. So then I decided, you know what, let's build like another house for them. But that project stopped because of financial reasons. But now we put in 100 at a time. Now we know every 2 weeks, we always have chickens and there's always a supply from us. So in terms of going back to your question, I just went to the store. You know, sometimes you just have to try your luck. Tell them what you do. Tell them you are Lesedi from Lesedi Poultry and you're selling chickens. You want to supply them. They wanted where I slaughter. So luckily, the Northwest Provincial Government has a slaughtering facility. And what I approached them, I told them what I do, and they were more than willing to help me. So we're slaughtering there and package for us, and then I just supply.
What's interesting for me about this entire conversation is that your surname is Gaabue, which is to not talk, but you're the most talkative person here.
Yes, it means she doesn't talk.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. As a woman in the industry, male-dominated, it's not easy. What has been some of your experiences? How were you able to navigate them?
I always find myself in male-dominated industries. I don't even know how. Even town planning is a male-dominated industry. But, you know, it's very tough as a woman to go into this industry. First of all, they look at you and they're like, you're a farmer?
I just got the nails and just got the hair.
And I'm like, can't farmers bath? I mean, you know, can't you just look good once? But it's quite difficult because at face value, they just like, how can you be a farmer? Do you even know like how to use a shovel or whatever? And most of the time when I post my videos, they're very shocked. Oh, you handle chicks? And I'm like, I'm a farmer. I'm producing chickens. But it's quite tough because they really don't take you seriously until they see the fruits of your work. But I've learned how to navigate all the challenges in that regard.
What does the future look like for Lesedi Poultry in the next 10 years?
The future for Lesedi Poultry, definitely going commercial. Would love to go commercial, definitely working on that. And women empowerment. That's all I want. We also want to open an institution where we train people how to handle poultry, how to grow poultry, and so forth and so on. So definitely going commercial and an institute.
For someone who's listening to this conversation and they're watching us, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into the poultry industry?
Do it. You learn on the way. I don't even know everything about poultry. You can't know everything. But if you don't do it, then you'll never know. So take a step in it, do it. Find a mentor. It's very important for you to find a mentor or people that know what you're doing. People have been in the industry so that when your chickens are just dying, because sometimes you just wake up and it's dead and you're like, what's going on? So find a mentor, most importantly, start and run with it. If it's your passion, you'll do it.
There you have it. Start, find a mentor. The main idea is to just simply start. That's, of course, Lesedi Gaabue, the one who doesn't talk, but clearly that is not the correct information. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss any of the episodes. From me, Duncan Masiwa, our producer, Megan van der Vent, and the rest of #Team Food from Mzansi. Thanks for listening.